Ladies and gentlemen, Resolute TV, bit of a random one. Well, it's not going to be random. I think I'm going to do a little bit more of this stuff just so I'm not always focused on politics because I also am sport mad. Big news in sport this week. Well, there's a few big stories, but the one most closely related to Resolute TV, Arlene Angerfist Blanco, our MMA former world boxing champion. She's been rewarded for all of her hard work, her dedication, her commitment. She's been awarded a Bellator World Championship fight against Chris Cyborg, who is one of the most decorated women's combat fighters in the world ever. So Arlene's been awarded the fight. She's got to fly to Vegas. I'm pretty excited to see her go over there and hopefully kick some ass. Resolute TV's agreed to kick in some dollars and help her as a sponsorship. Because we want to see her go over there and towel up this woman, and we want her to bring back the world title to Australia. And yeah, I'm really pumped for her, mate. She's one of the nicest women on the planet. She's also obviously an ass-kicking machine. So Arlene, congratulations on your world title fight. That's mega. The other thing, well, the main purpose for this is English Premier League season kicks off tonight. I'm really pumped for it because I'm a mad Gooners fan. Arsenal and I have been in love for many years. I had a bit of a thing for a kid when I was a kid. And then when I moved to London, I was living not far from Highbury. So, you know, it's just part of the course that I've become a lunatic Gunners fan. Season starts tonight, 9:30. This should go live at 8 o'clock. Bit of a warm-up for anybody who's kind of going, what the hell's going on? This is a bit different. Lots been going on with the Arsenal Football Club last few years. We've always been one of the tightest financial managers. We don't go out and buy, here's 200 million for a player. Generally speaking, it's all relative. We're one of the more conservative fiscal teams in the league. And we've had a lot of upheaval and a hell of a lot's gone on since the retirement of the great man Arsene Wenger. I'm a big fan of all Wenger's work. You know, mate, we had the Invincibles, never to be repeated unless it's by us, just to say. But a lot's been going on. It's been a crazy time. I really felt for Unai Emery when he took the top job, not because he's not a bloody good coach. I actually think he's still a bloody good coach. But after Wenger's retirement, they tried to run via committees. You can't run a bloody club. You can't run much by committee. Things don't run well by committees. You've got to have, leaders and people taking charge. So I really felt sorry for him during his tenure. It was probably almost a good thing. We didn't quite fall into we did kind of fall into the pile like Manchester United did, which was what we were trying to avoid. I think just after having somebody leading the show for so long, it's almost inevitable. But Mikel Arteta has taken the reins. He did a great job last year. Even managed a couple of trophies, my man. But the vibe seems to be onward and upward. They've just handed him the reins as an overall manager. I think obviously the guys there work out that this running by committee is not a bloody good idea. So giving Mikel the overall reins is fantastic. Now, as a player, he was always certainly a better player than I'll ever be, but he was never flashy, never pizzazzy. He was never one of those standout guys that made you go, fucking wow. But he was just so consistent and, you could just always rely on the guy, Mr. Reliable. And now he's got the reins of the club in his hands. I'm feeling pretty good about it. And all the moves, and I've been reading a heap of articles this morning. I've got a couple here that I'll double check for bits and pieces just to make sure I'm not, spinning inappropriate bullshit. But yeah, look, I'm excited. The Arteta, he trained obviously under Arsene Wenger, and then the Pep Guardiola thing from Man City. It's pretty exciting to have him in the position that he's in and doing the things that he's doing, to the point that it sounds like our two biggest fish, our two main strikers, guys who love finding the back of the net, Aubameyang and Lacazette, both seem to want to stay. It's not quite across the line yet, so touch wood. But it sounds like from all reports that we're going to manage to keep both of them, and that's awesome. We've got a strike force that any club in the world would love to have. Aubameyang is so world class it's not funny. He's comparable to Thierry Henry, just on class, style. He's not the next Thierry Henry, but there are a lot of comparisons, and Lacazette's not too far behind. They seem to have been struggling to work out how to fit everybody in. But if we win enough tournaments and we're in all four, let's just win all of them, right? Champions League, and we're not in the Champions League, but win Europa this year, and we'll win Champions League next year, and then we're going to win the Premier League, and then we'll win the is it the Carabao Cup, or have they changed the name of that again? I don't know. They change the name of that fairly regularly, but and then we'll win the FA Cup because it's ours. That sounds good to me. But and we got Pepe, we got Willian from Chelsea, which is pretty exciting. He's a class act. He's getting on in years, but you know what? That's not always a bad thing. A good stable pair of mature hands. Teaches the young blokes. There's a lot of stuff that happens not just on the field that's important. Eddie Nketiah, he seems to be on fire. We got a couple of young guns that are just tearing it up, and our strike force is looking fucking epic. I'm quietly pumped, particularly for Aubameyang and Lacazette sign on, because Arteta's going to do something pretty special. Man, sky is the limit. Bit of interesting stuff going on in goalkeeper. Emi Martinez is talking about being sold. I'll be a bit disappointed. We've had a couple of long-term goalkeepers over the years that have been really quality. And Martinez has been a long-term backup goalkeeper. Skills, personality, abilities. I've always kind of liked the guy. I'd be sad to see him go. Happy to see him get first-time football because the guy deserves it. He's been such a loyal servant to the club. Mate, if you go, miss you. It'll be fantastic to keep you and Bernd Leno on the books, and let's just again win everything, because I'm greedy when it comes to Arsenal winning everything. But it sounds like Arteta's made up his mind that Bernd Leno is going to be our main man, and in between the sticks. So that's a pretty safe. It's a quality problem to have, to be arguing over which one of those two guys we get to have between the sticks, because they're both pretty bloody good. And then, of course, our back line has certainly strengthened. We've had problems for quite some time with a solid back line. I don't know, the leaky bloody defence. We haven't had anything. I mean, the old days with the 1-0 to the Arsenal, because we'd get one and then just shut the gate and game over. It hasn't been like that for a long time. There's been pros and cons to the different approach, i.e. the more stylish approach that Wenger converted to after the days of Tony Adams and the like. But these couple of new kids sound like they're going to be amazing. David Luiz is up and down and a bit all over the shop, and I don't mean that really in a negative way. Luiz is obviously he's a world-class talent, but sometimes he does maddening things as fans, and we're going, we're throwing shit at the TV. Mustafi's the same. When he's on his game, you go, damn, man, how good are you? And then there are other times where we're kind of going, why is this guy on the paddock, and why do we pay? What do we pay, £30 million or something for him? That's crazy, We got kids like Saka, Martinelli, Willock. It's getting exciting, man. Those young guns are pretty cool. And if anybody ever saw Reece Nelson, I saw him when the Gunners came to Australia on their tour. He's pretty cool. These kids are great. Some of these kids are just off the chart. Now, these backline guys, Bellerin, there's talk of him going to Barcelona. That'll kind of piss me off, because even though he's a bit of a vegan hippie, he's a bloody good left back, and he's served the club really well. What do you do? What do you do with a guy like Bellerin? We need the money. Yeah, probably. Barcelona are throwing money around. That's one of the things that they kind of do. The question, I suppose, is, are we willing to lose such a good servant of the club as Hector Bellerin? I'd be disappointed to see him go, but in saying that, money talks, and it depends who we're replacing him with. The guys that we've been buying have been fucking awesome. Now, I don't know what Ed is doing up in the front office up there. you know, he's obviously doing his thing. And you know, I'll have a look. A couple of bits here. This news. Eddie's been doing his thing now. He was one of our invincibles, so obviously a lot of us gunners sort of get really excited and love the guy. So Emmerich and Aubameyang, £250,000 a week, worth every penny after what we pay Mesut Ozil, and I'll get onto Ozil in a minute. Maitland-Niles, he's thinking about staying. Goody, you know, great player. I mean, we can only fit 11 blokes on the paddock, but Arsenal's injury prone to shit. We're always got guys dropping off the paddock. Who else have we got on here that's going to be pretty cool? By the way, the new kits, I kind of like them. I think they're all right. I'm not upset by the quality of them. I'll have to buy a new one at some stage soon. Matteo Guidanzi, I don't know about that guy. He's cracking player, but personality problems. Are we going to sell him? Don't know. Is he going to sit on the bench? Is he going to sort of be hung out to dry? I don't know. He seems like the sort of kid that Aturda probably just needs to get one of the old boys to give him a clip under the ear. I can't imagine Tony Adams and those blokes would have put up with some of the nonsense that goes on. But in saying that, apparently I'm an old bastard sometimes. Here we go. This is the one I'm looking for. This is the one. Pepe. Pepe is a superstar. And once he's comfortable, life will be good. Here we go. Gunners. Now, and the internet's slow as shit while I'm refreshing this page. But that's okay too. So, once this page refreshes, I'll be able to sort of gibber a couple of bit more. I want to throw a few stats out there because, you know, we need some stats. Stats are cool. I mean, you can't just have my opinions on how good Arsenal is. I mean, best team ever in the world. Of course. And come on, dummy. Here we go. These are the couple that I wanted to read out I was looking at earlier. Just a couple of cheeky stats to throw in. We've only lost one of our last 13 Premier League matches against Fulham, and that was a 2-1 defeat in January 2012. Aubameyang has been directly involved in 16 goals in 13 appearances against newly promoted opponents, so hopefully that means a little goal fest tonight for Aubameyang. We haven't lost any of our last 24 matches in the month of September in all competitions. That sounds all right. And here we go. Since his Fulham debut in February 2018, only Aubameyang on 54, Salah, he's a Liverpool player, and Vardy, who's a Leicester player, have scored more league goals in England than Alexander Mitrovic, which is an interesting little stat because it's Mitrovic most people would never have heard of. Vardy kind of stormed into the Premier League world with Leicester a few years ago, even took them to a premiership that nobody anticipated. Crazy time. Head-to-head in all competitions. We've played 57, we've won 39, drawn 10 and lost 8 to Fulham. So that's some interesting stuff there. And look, we've got to touch on the Mesut Ozil thing. Mesut Ozil is a mercurial player, the guys. When he does stuff, you sit there and you're watching, you go, how in the blue hell did that guy do that, right? And you sit there and you're scratching your head, scratching your bum, going, really? He did that? And it happened like that? Problem you have with him is it's so few and far between these days. So few and far between. Breaks my heart, breaks my balls, does my head in. And he's just amazing when he's amazing, and when he's not, he's not. There's all the stuff about the pay cuts during COVID. Was he a bit of a dick about it? I don't know. Look, there's his story, and there's A story, B story. Somewhere in the middle is usually the truth. What do you do with a player like that? Do we sell him? I mean, bottom line is the guy's bench warming and he's a top earner. As far as I'm concerned in my life and head, your top earner should be your top performer. It's as simple as that. So, Yeah, sorry, dude. Ozil, you deserve either to be a pay cut, and I know it's all contracted and blah 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 blah, but we need more contracts that are based on results, boys. Based on results. I think everybody should be like that. That's just a personal philosophy of mine. But I'd really like to see. I'd like to. If we're going to keep Ozil, we need to get more out of him. Is a third of the man to get more out of him? I bloody hope so. I'm going to be really interested to see what's going to transpire. He's such a. I wept with joy when we signed him from Real Madrid. I dead set. I danced around the house. I made all sorts of noises, whoop-de-doing. I thought, how good is this? It's the start of a new day for Arsenal fans everywhere. And then, not much happened. It was really, really heartbreaking. Anyway, poor old Mesut Ozil, mercurial talent, amazing player. He does run some amazing charities and stuff, and I like that about the guy. He's always trying to give back to the things that matter to him, and that's important. The other couple of players I need to quickly mention, there's a little handful of them. We bought Gabriel into the club, amazing defender. So it sounds like we're trying to shore up the defence, and William Saliba, I probably pronounced that wrong. Stiff shit, that's life. Those two guys, I reckon, have the potential to build a rock-solid wall of defence for us for the next 5 to 10 years. They're both really classy young guys, tough as nails. There's comparisons to Virgil van Dijk, which anybody who saw him over the last couple of years, the guy's a beast. So if we've ended up with two guys that are going to work in a similar fashion, we're going to be real strong team for the year. And Danny Ceballos is back off on loan from Real Madrid. We've got him. He seems to be doing far more than Ozil. Jacques is still there as our captain. We've just got some really A-grade players. I love Torreira. I don't know if he's staying or going. I hope he stays, although he doesn't sound real happy to be in London anymore. He sounds like he'd like to move on. As a player, he's such a tough little bastard. I watch him and I'm like, yes. He's like a 2 foot tall Patrick Vieira. It pleases me no end watching him, the guy play. But I used to feel the same way about Alexis Sanchez before he shot up the road to Manchester and then thought better of it and was too bloody late by then, son. Unfortunately. So I guess look in roundup, I reckon we're likely to win tonight. I reckon Aubameyang's good for 2 goals. I reckon it's going to be 3-1. I could be totally wrong. It's just a random guess. I'm a nobody, just a guy with a love and opinion for my team. I obviously wish the boys all the best for 2020 EPL season and every other tournament that we're in. Arsenal fans, let's get behind the Gunners. And more importantly, let's fucking win. Let's win. Have a great night, guys. Enjoy the game.